that price of saying we hear and we obey. May our lives be sacrificed for you. May our children be sacrificed for you. May our parents be sacrificed for you. That is not done through the lips. So, their obedience, their hearing and obeying, it is not blind. Because if they're doing it blindly, they cannot be guides to mankind, the whole of mankind, until Judgment Day. It's impossible. If they're only imitating and they're not doing it real, if they are fake, then they will not be praised by the prophets as stars. That if you take any one of them, they will lead you to me, Prophet ﷺ is saying. So we asked before, you listen to the khutbah. What is the khutbah saying? Talking about Cannakkale. To remember. What are we remembering? Remembering what? Remembering their sacrifice. And their qurban, their sacrifice. What has it got to do with us? To you. I asked one murid, and then murid say, for me, I want to sacrifice the same way for the way of our Seyh. How are you going to sacrifice that? What are we going to sacrifice? In reality, all sacrificing, it is nothing but the sacrifice of the ego. You give up from the food and the drink in the month of Ramadan. You are sacrificing. It is nothing but the ego. You're saying you're sacrificing part of your wages, what you earn from the dunya in the halal way. It is just teaching you that whatever you earn, it is coming from Allah. It is a trust that is given to you. Don't try to claim ownership. Sacrifice that. And the Hajj, finish. The Hajj, you wear white, the ihram, it is to say, Labaik Allah. When you say to your Lord, here I am, O my Lord, you think you're going to your Lord and you're coming back? How you can go to the presence of your Lord to say, here I am, and you come away from His presence? You're wearing white. That is your ihram. Ihram coming from the word what? Haram. What is it that is forbidden to you now? What is forbidden to you? The dunya, your desires, your ego, shaitan, all these things are now made haram to you. You are understanding because you are not part of this world no more. When you go to the Kaaba, you are not part of this world anymore. When you return, you must leave your reality there. Whatever that is returning is just maybe one ray that is just continuing day to day, but you want to go back there. That is nothing but a sacrifice. So what are we sacrificing now? You're saying we're sacrificing our ego. Because you are not going to be able to sacrifice your ego. You are not going to understand the Martyrs of Cannakkale if we're not sacrificing our ego. Because they sacrificed everything. How are you going to sacrifice your ego? Yes, you say by what? Sami'na wa ata'na. We hear, we obey. How do you sacrifice? By hearing and obeying. That's not a sacrifice. Because so many are saying we hear and we obey. But to who are you hearing? And to who are you obeying to? Some say to you, but they're doing opposite. Some say only to you, but their hearts, they are being very stubborn and very disobedient. It's inside of us. So learning how to hear and learning how to obey, this is why we're here. Because it's so easy to say we hear and we obey. What are you hearing? So many of us, what we are hearing when we close our eyes, what we are hearing when we are making the zikr, when we're saying Allah, what we are hearing when something is being done to you that you don't like, what are you hearing? What are you hearing when you see something that you like? We hear and we obey. Who? The one who has been appointed to us. We hear and we obey our Seyh. Now tell me that you are going to hear and you're going to obey your Seyh, and you're going to be ghaflat and arrogant and stubborn at the same time. How can you? The more you saying that you're hearing, the more you're reading, the more you're listening to the Sohbet of Grand Seyh or Seyh Efendi. But if it's not making you, your heart to become soft, and for you to understand who are you listening to, and you're not understanding your ego more, then that time is going to be a burden to you. We are concentrating on the sunnats. We are not concentrating on the ayats. We are concentrating now not only the sunnahs of the Prophet ﷺ, but the sunnahs of the Prophet ﷺ according to our Seyh, not according to a book, not according to some scholars, not according to imams. We're taking from that. Maybe what he's giving us is only a little bit. This is not true. He's giving us the whole world with the sunnats. But maybe the scholars are going to say he's only explaining very small things, low things. But that is what is going to bring us to safety and to the proper stations that we are looking for. Anything more than that, it will crush us. There'll be a burden to us. We will become disobedient. Which is why Seyh Efendi had said, Allah is saying, we give the Quran to the mountains, and the mountains they refuse. But to man, a heedless and headless man, they accept. Those mountains, they're not these mountains, physical mountains that we see with our eyes. In another ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the mountains that hold the earth, the world, existence together. These are the awliya Allah, these are the kutubs. And the friends of Allah, they are not rushing to take the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it comes with a very heavy burden. Well, people now, they are rushing to go straight to the source. You go straight to the source, it will burn your fuse. Whatever little fuse you have, it will burn your fuse. And instead of you becoming clearer and understanding more and having more clarity and peace in your heart, you're going to become even more confused, more stubborn, and pulling yourself out more. So now the Martyrs of Cannakkale. They gave everything. They sacrificed. And understand, it's not only them. It is their mothers. It is their fathers. It is their brothers. It is their loved ones who also sacrificed. There were families with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sons, and they sent all their sons to the war, knowing certainly that they are going to be sacrificed in that war. We cannot even put our ego down. We cannot even put our ego down when the ego is rising, whether it's anger or stubbornness or arrogance, just to put it down and say, Hey Allah, how are we going to sacrifice? This is not option, especially for us. It's not an option. Without that kind of faith, Seyh Efendi is saying what in the khutbah? Anyone listening? Without that kind of faith, you cannot what? You cannot even cross the sirat. What is a sirat? This is a bridge. It is sharper than a sword and thinner than a hair. And if you cannot cross it, you will fall down and the hellfire is waiting for you below. You are not crossing the sirat now, you're not going to cross the sirat then. If you're not putting yourself to that test by crossing it now, you're not going to have any practice. How are you going to cross it then? It's easy for us to say we're going to sacrifice, but what have we sacrificed? Have we sacrificed anything? They don't need us, we need them. They don't need our sacrifices, we need our sacrifices to clean ourselves. Because with that heaviness and with that dirtiness, we are going to fail in this dunya, we're going to fail in the grave, we're going to fail in the hereafter. How you live is how you're going to be buried. How you live is how you're going to die. How you die is how you're going to be buried. How you are buried is how you're going to be raised. Now, if we are still not understanding all these wrong characteristics that we have, to get rid of them, these shaitanic characteristics, when we are buried, now everyone is hiding it inside. That time is going to come outside. You're going to have the shape. It depends. If you're stubborn like a donkey, you may look like a very nice person. Very stubborn. You're going to be buried, and the donkey shape is going to transform you. You're going to become a donkey, and you're going to be raised a donkey. So many times, Seyh Efendi had said, there will be so many people now raised on the judgment day, and they look around and they say there's so many animals amongst us, because in the judgment day, there is no chaos. In the judgment day, there is no disorganization. In the judgment day, it is not free for all. Everyone is going to be lining up in ranks. Everyone is going to be behind a flag. They are going to stand behind their imams. Which imam are we following? Really, which imam? You can say my imam is my sheikh, but continuously we're becoming disobedient and arrogant. We're not following the sheikh now. We're following our ego. The ego is our imam. That time, Seyh Efendi said, you're going to see so many people. They're in the shape of animals. Animals and man, they're not going to be together that time, but they're going to be together. So many are going to wake up, raised on judgment day, and see, I've turned into an animal. Why? I go to the Hajj. I give zakat. I fast. I do so many things. Yes, you can do so many things, but if you didn't let go and get rid of your animal characteristics, that's what you're going to be raised with. It is a very big shame, because we have been created in a Hakkani takwim. We have been created in the most perfect form. And the Prophet ﷺ's duty is to wake up his ummah and to make us to return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clean and pure as He had created us. And the sheikhs of this nation were called to help and to change and to clean us, so that we will return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as He had created us. If you think you are pure, you're already in the stage of Ahsani Taqweem now, then you don't have to be here. Then you don't have to listen to nothing. I don't think so. So the sacrifice, what we must be busy with now. Because it is impossible now for those Mehmet chicks to be able to sacrifice everything if they were not living a life that is preparing them for that sacrifice. It is impossible. It is not so easy. Now we have to be careful. We say we want to sacrifice our lives for our Seyh. Are we making that practice now, or sacrificing? Or not? You say, I sacrifice because I move up here. Oh, subhanallah. So many of us, our lives got better dunya here. I sacrifice because I cannot hang out with my friends anymore. You realize what your friends are. It is not a sacrifice, it's a blessing to you. I sacrifice because I cannot watch TV. I don't watch TV. There's not a sacrifice. Sacrifice is when you give up something good. The television is a shaitan box. It is a sewer. And our lives here, in reality, is not a sacrifice. But are we swallowing our anger and learning how to digest it and passing it out? That they are looking for. Are we being busy searching for the arrogance? Are we being busy looking for the stubbornness? Or are we being busy looking to other people? This one is wrong. This one has a past. This one is like this one is like that. Busy with other people, but they're not busy with themselves. Oh, that time, you are taking their burdens, you're taking their sins, and you're putting it on top of your head. We're busy with ourselves, inshallah. If you're not given any position of authority, be busy with yourself. Those who are given positions of authority, they have to be more careful. And you all have been witness to how, when Seyh Efendi was here, he didn't give me a millim, not an inch, he didn't give me a millim. And our Seyh is melamat. We should try to walk in their footsteps. What is melamat? The self-blaming one. That others all around the whole world will blame you too. But he's walking his way straight. He's not looking left and right, not hearing anything. He's not listening to the world, he's not listening to his friends, he's not listening to his family, to his wives, to his children, to us. He's walking his way straight. We should too. With that, inshallah, at least we're going to hold on tightly to our Seyh. That when he crossed the Sirat, we can keep up with him. If we don't have that connection, even if you have the Prophet in front of you, you will fall. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. May Allah forgive me and bless you. May Allah raise the stations of the martyrs of Islam, especially the martyrs of Cannakkale. May they always be looking down on us and praying for us and giving the madad and the himmat to us. May Allah not test us, but may we be strong ones to be able to sacrifice ourselves, dunya and akhirat, for the way of haqq for our Seyh, inshallah. Wa min Allahu tawfiq. Al-Fatiha.